Hi guys, and welcome back to the Black Consciousness Movement channel. As I usually say, we discuss things about like our black hair, being comfortable in our own skin, discussions about our differences, and living with people from different cultures in the society and how to get along with them, and just really trying to live a peaceful life in this world, whether we are in the diaspora or back home, and so on. And I also mentioned that on this channel we also bring things that are going on in the world right now. And today is going to be a little bit of a sensitive discussion. It's going to be about the genocide. Now, I'm not a historian, but I obviously know some history, obviously, about genocides that happen in general in the world and so on. But we're going to talk, and that's because right now there's something going on about, a term called, and I think being taken out of proportion, kind of mutating from what it means or what it has, whatever meaning it had before, and now changing it or maybe adding more to it and so on, which is called anti-Semitic, which is kind of a term loosely used to mean when you are against Jews. Obviously, I have no intention, or like I'm not against anyone, Jews included, but I don't have a specific love for specific people, Jews included too. So obviously we're going to talk about that, and the reason I'm going to talk about this is because it's in the kind of, should I say, in regard to what is going on right now, and not specifically because I share about Candace, but that's probably what brings the whole conversation about it to kind of the surface. But before I get even started, please subscribe, like, comment, and push that notification button so that you can obviously be alerted to any new video that we have. So let's get started. Yeah. When we say black is beautiful, we are not comparing that beauty with other races. We are not saying black is beautiful more than white, black is beautiful more than brown. We are just teaching mainly that black is beautiful. Okay, welcome back. Your host is Jehovah, and as I said, this is anyway. Before I go any further on, let me give credit where it's due. This beautiful necklace that you see, very traditional. I got it from my cousin Kapi, and I'm so thankful. Kapi, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And this, I don't know, like I have cousins who love me so much that they give me clothes. Like it's crazy. Like honestly speaking, it's funny that, well, this is probably not something that can fit, but like in general, they give me clothes that fit and I look so beautiful. I'm like, wow. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of break the ice before we start with this serious conversation. Anyway, so let's do a different genocide, because there was something that was mentioned during the interview between Candace Owens and Rabbi Buckley. So, and one of the things that came in, like, to the surface, if I have to say that, is the Jews' prosecution being uniquely evil in comparison maybe with other. And I'm going to break down, 3 different types of genocide that happen, so that you make the decision for yourself what determines, maybe one specific genocide being more evil than the other one. So I'm going to walk, for the purpose of this, this conversation, I'm going to use obviously the genocide that happened to the Jews, and obviously the genocide that happened to the Tutsis in Rwanda, and then I'm going to use the genocide that happened to the Hereros in Namibia. Now that's quite strange. You probably, when I mentioned the third genocide, which is Hereros, that's my tribe in Namibia. I'm from the Herero tribe. Most people have no clue about that genocide, which is so ridiculous. Like, why is it that a certain kind of genocide is not so much like it's not so much talk about? Like, why is it hidden, right? Anyway, now let's look at these 3 genocides that happened. Now, are we going to say that the genocide that happened to the Jews took longer, and because of that it's maybe uniquely evil? Now, I know that what the bishop was, what the rabbi was talking about was referring to October 7th. But in general, I think like, I don't have to use October 7th to find that most of the time what happened to the Jews is regarded as extremely different or evil in comparison to what happened to others. So I'm going to use the genocide in general, and then we close that chapter if we have to move to something else. Okay, so it happened between 1940. I need to be okay. Let me, for example, start with the Hereros. The Hereros genocide actually happened between 1904 to 1908. When you calculate that, that's 4 years, right? The Jews genocide happened between 1941, if I'm not mistaken, to 1945. I think that's 4 years, 41, 42, 43, 40. Look like 3 years. But for the purpose of this teaching or this information, we're going to count that. We're not even going to say the Herero genocide took longer. Let me say it's on an equal basis. It's 4 years, right? But it looked like, the Jews was actually 3 years. But let me say it's 4 years. Okay, that's it. So it's the same. Now, could it be that the genocide that happened to the Jews was actually maybe way faster? Like, it happened faster, people were killed to an disappropriate faster level than in any other genocide? No, of course not. The Rwanda genocide that happened in 1994, which happened obviously between April and July, actually was faster, because it was 100 days. Within 100 days, 1 million people were killed. So it wasn't faster, right? So what else could we look at? Like, what makes the genocide that happened to the Jews much more maybe uniquely evil, or much more, much more wicked than what happened to others? Could we now take that maybe the Jews that were killed were actually much more in comparison to, like, maybe, for example, in other genocide? No. Because it is estimated that 9.5 million Jews were living in Europe during that time when they were killed, and 6 million were killed. And that's a lot. Like, I'm not minimizing the fact that that's a lot of people from one tribe or from one nation to be killed. That's a lot. However, that's 60%, but we also need to consider that there were other Jews outside Europe, right? So it's going to be less than 60%. Now, the Hereros, it was actually 80% of the Hereros that were killed. So the Hereros were killed much more in comparison to the Jews, right? because you have 100, I'm just taking, an example. You have 100,000 people, and then you killed 80,000, you have only 20,000 left. In comparison to if you have like 5 million people and you kill, maybe kind of like 2.5. No, not, yeah, 2.5 is 50%, or even 2 million, right? So it's not necessarily depending on the amount of the people that were killed in the sense of like 6 million, maybe here over 80,000 in that sense. No, it's a percentage taken when we are looking at a specific, because remember, it's going to take us back to what a genocide is. A genocide is obviously a complete cleansing of a specific ethnic group, right? So if you are cleansing this group to obviously eradicate them, like away from, like completely from the earth, right? So you're going to have to look at a percentage, because depending on the percentage, you're going to know that like 80% of people, killing 80% of people, it's crazy, it's insane. And it's funny that this genocide is not even well known, right? So can you see that there's nothing about something being uniquely evil in comparison to others, especially when it comes to like that kind of genocide? And let's I'm a black person, right? So let's go back to slavery, because I think slavery was genocidal, right? Honestly speaking, it was a complete eradication of black people so that they don't even exist anymore. It's only because we were a lot, right? So could we say that slavery was not genocidal? It was genocidal. So was that not also evil? Or should we say maybe slavery was uniquely evil in that sense? So can we see where this is heading? So a genocide is evil. So this is the other thing. I'm going to bring something in that I've been hearing. Like, for example, I'm in Canada and I live here and I love this country like crazy. You have a lot of amazing, polite people. This is a country with the most polite people. And I love living in a country where people are so polite and so nice and so on. But that doesn't mean Canada is not racist. We can't confuse being polite with being non-racist. No, you can be polite and racist at the same time. Politeness doesn't take your racism away from you, right? So this is the thing. When we talk about the genocide in that kind of sense, we're actually saying the same thing as people who say that, oh no, the United States were more racist than Canada. Racism is just something wicked. You can be like, there's nothing like, oh no, less racist. Like, honestly speaking, racism is racism regardless. We can't place, like when we look even at the racism in Canada, when we say it was less than the US, it was just very much well hidden, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't there or it's not there, or it's even more worse than the US. Yes, I know people came with the Underground Railroad, they came to Canada, but they actually found out shockingly that they were still discriminated against based on their color. So I can't even go into details when it comes to that, because this is not the topic for today, but I was just using that when people say it's less racist and so on, it's almost like minimizing, like one thing is better than the other. Being treated badly or discriminated against because on the basis of your color is plainly bad. Like it can be less bad and, like whatever. That doesn't make sense. So that's the same. All these genocides were equally evil. None of them are apparently uniquely evil. And I'm not taking these words out of proportion in the sense that, oh no, he was referring to October 7th, because this has been a belief in general. That's why some genocide are not well known, but that specific genocide is well known. It's because we are lifting it up so much in comparison to other genocide. Anyway, this is the end of, we come to the end of this. I said I don't want to record so so like longer time or whatever. Anyway, we are coming to the end of this because I don't want to frustrate people with like more than 15 minutes and all that. So please don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so having said that, we are coming to the end of our session for today, or our episode. Next time we're gonna discuss oh my god, there's just so many things going on, and it's probably gonna be about Candace again, because there's just, remember, this is not so much about Candace, it's because Candace is exposing some of these things and bringing it to the surface. And I think the next video is going to be about Candace sitting down with a breakfast club, which is quite interesting, because the black media has not been interested in Candace because of the many misunderstandings that has happened, and how the media has put Candace in a situation where it looked like she hates herself, she's self-hating and all that. Yeah, so don't forget to subscribe, like and comment, and push that notification button. From Jehovah, take care and God bless you. Hosana,